Lions GM Brad Holmes just gave us a big update on the possible return of Za'Darius Smith and even hinted at what the holdup of all this could be. Let's talk about it. Hi, it's Mike Payton from A to Z Sports Detroit. Today we're going to talk about Brad Holmes' update on Za'Darius Smith that we got on Wednesday. But first, a real quick recap. Obviously, Smith went on to the red carpet at the BET Awards not long ago, said he wants to be back in Detroit. The Lions are the team he wants to be with. And Brad Holmes said in April at the league meetings that the Lions have maintained contact with Smith and his agent, but no deal has happened since, and we're still here at this point. Wednesday, Holmes went on to 97.1 The Ticket and talked about how the two sides may be apart at this time. Holmes said that it's not just a one-sided thing. Smith has expectations for what the contract could be. The Lions have expectations for what the contract can be, and neither have agreed to those expectations at this point. He also mentioned, kind of hinted, that maybe Smith just doesn't want to be at training camp, which is a totally normal thing. It's not a bad thing. A lot of veterans don't want to participate in training camp because at this point, when you're 10 years into the league, you really need to continue to prove every summer that you should be on a roster. It's just not a fun thing. Players just don't really like training camp in general. Everybody just kind of knows that when you're around these players, when you're around the team, when you're around the NFL, veterans don't want to go to training camp. It's just what it is. And that could really be the big hint. Now, Holmes didn't actually say that per se. He kind of lumped it in. He kind of mentioned it and maybe even stopped himself from saying more. If you listen to the full interview, you can really catch what's being said there. But that's definitely the hint. And that's kind of been the rumor. That's kind of been the thought this whole time. Maybe that's what's holding this whole thing up with Smith, is that he just doesn't want to go to training camp. So as we progress towards the end of camp and end of the summer, I would definitely be in the last couple weeks of August and the early September before the Lions play the Packers in week 1 on the 7th. I would be keeping my eye on the whole Smith situation, because I would not be shocked if he signed near the end of camp and does a week or two of camp and gets ready for the season. He has been staying in shape. We've seen on his Instagram that he's working out, so it's not like he's just sitting around. So don't be surprised if this happens later in August, but also kind of don't be surprised if it doesn't happen at all, because if they can't come to terms on what the deal's going to be, then they're not going to force it. Neither side's going to force this thing to happen. We'll see where it goes, but if Smith's coming back, it's probably not going to be till later. We'll see you next time.